Help me hit 7,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. My name is Callan, and until a few nights ago, I thought I understood what loyalty looked like. I'm not the dramatic type. I don't raise my voice, and I don't go looking for trouble. I'm the guy who shows up early, pays the bill quietly, and makes sure the people I love are taken care of. And for 3 years, that person was Marielle. A woman with a laugh soft enough to quiet a room and a way of leaning into my shoulder like the world wasn't as heavy as it felt. But on Friday evening, I saw something that knocked the air straight out of my chest. We were at a small get-together one of her co-workers hosted. Nothing fancy, just warm lights strung across a backyard and indie music humming from a speaker inside. I was talking to a friend near the fire pit when I glanced across the yard and saw Marielle standing near the drinks table. Smiling. Not just smiling. Smiling in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. The guy she was talking to, someone I'd never seen, leaned in a little, and she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. That tiny gesture hit me harder than it should have. It was the way she used to act around me when we first met. Shy, sweet, a little flustered. But this time, she looked at him like I wasn't even part of her world. My friend kept talking, but his voice faded into white noise. My chest tightened, and a cold, hollow ache settled beneath my ribs. I couldn't pull my eyes away. The man said something, and she laughed. A soft, warm sound that once felt like home. It didn't feel like home anymore. Felt borrowed. I didn't make a scene. I didn't confront her. I just walked inside, grabbed my coat, and stepped out the front door. My hands were shaking, but my mind was oddly clear. I wasn't angry as much as I was tired of wondering why I'd been feeling so far away from her, tired of pretending we were still us. And maybe I just didn't want to wait for her to choose someone else. I made it halfway down the driveway before I heard the door open behind me. Callan? Her voice was small, trembling at the edges. Where are you going? I didn't turn around right away. I didn't trust the look that might be on my face. When I finally did, she was standing on the porch steps, arms wrapped around herself, eyes wide like she'd seen something shatter. We're leaving, I said simply. Or at least I am. Her breath hitched. Why? The fact that she even had to ask made something in me twist. But I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse her. I just answered the way someone answers when they've been quietly hurting for too long. You smiled at him, I said. You haven't smiled at me like that in, I don't even know how long. She stepped closer, her heels crunching against the gravel, but I moved back a little. Instinct, maybe. She froze. Callan, that's not. Her voice cracked. That's not what you think. I shook my head. I'm not trying to control you. I'm not saying you can't talk to people. But you looked at him like he mattered. Like he meant something. I swallowed hard. I haven't mattered to you for months, March. Her eyes filled so quickly it startled me. Marielle never cried first. Never broke first. If anything, she was the calm one, measured, composed, steady. But now she looked like she was falling apart. I smiled like that because I was nervous, she whispered. Not because of him, because of you. I stared at her, confused. She took a step closer. You've been distant, she said. Silent. You go through the motions, but you're not really here. I thought you were pulling away. I thought maybe you didn't want me as much anymore. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. She drew a shaky breath. That man? He's my cousin's friend. He asked if I was okay because I looked stressed. I smiled so I wouldn't cry. I wasn't flirting, Callan. I was trying not to fall apart in front of people. My heart pounded against my ribs, but before I could respond, her voice dropped even lower. So low the cool night air seemed to still around us. And there's something I haven't told you, she whispered. Something I should have said weeks ago. But I was scared. A strange heaviness settled in my stomach. She looked up, lips trembling, eyes shining with fear. And when she finally said it, the entire night cracked open. Callan, I think I've been pushing you away because I didn't want to lose you, Marielle finished, her voice barely above a whisper. Her hands shook as she reached for mine, and for the first time that night, I felt the weight in my chest shift. Not from anger, but from confusion and a strange, cautious hope. I stayed silent, letting her words sink in. 3 years of shared dinners, late-night walks, and quiet Sunday mornings had led to this raw, fragile moment on the porch. Her gaze held mine, pleading yet apologetic. I could see the honesty in her eyes, the way she was exposing herself without pretense. I thought you didn't care anymore. I admitted, my voice tight. You seemed distant. Every time I tried to reach you, it felt like I was meeting a wall instead of the woman I fell in love with. She blinked rapidly, as if trying to erase weeks of miscommunication in a single moment. Callan, I swear, it wasn't that I didn't care. I was scared. I saw you withdrawing and I panicked. I thought maybe you were done with me. So I tried to protect myself by pretending I was okay. By smiling, even when it hurt. I tightened my grip on the railing, trying to steady my racing thoughts. Her trembling hands made it impossible to feel anger anymore. What remained was clarity. We were two people who had lost each other in the small silences, the overlooked gestures, the tiny fractures that grew without anyone noticing. You scared me, I confessed. Every day I wondered if you still wanted me, and seeing you smile at him, it was like a final confirmation that maybe I wasn't enough anymore. Her lips quivered, but she nodded. I know. I'm so sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. I wanted to talk, to explain, but I didn't know how. Every time I tried, it felt like you had already shut the door a little. The night air wrapped around us, heavy with unspoken truths. I wanted to scream at her, shake her, demand that she never pull something like that again. But instead, I felt an unexpected softness settle in my chest. The same softness I'd felt the first time she laughed at one of my dumb jokes. The same warmth that had drawn me to her 3 years ago. I don't know if I can forget what I saw tonight, I said honestly. It hurt, more than I realized. She stepped closer, her voice barely audible. I know, and I'll do whatever it takes to fix this. I'll show you every day that I'm here, that I'm yours. For a moment, the world seemed to pause. The hum of distant music, the faint laughter from the backyard. Everything faded into the background. What was left was us, fragile and exposed, standing in the cold night air, staring at what might still be salvageable. I exhaled slowly. I don't know if it's that simple, I admitted. Trust isn't something you rebuild overnight. I need to see that it's real, that it's not just words. Her hands found mine again, firmer this time, holding on as if to anchor herself. I'll give you time, she promised. I'll prove it. I can't change the past, but I can fight for our future. And in that moment, a part of me softened, hesitant, careful but willing. Willing to try, because love, even when fragile, was worth fighting for. I stepped back slightly, still holding her gaze. All right, I said, letting the word linger between us. We'll try, but this time no walls, no pretending. I need you all in, Marielle. Every day, fully. She nodded, a tear escaping down her cheek, and smiled. Not at anyone else, not at a stranger, but at me. A smile that felt like home again. We stood there for a long moment, letting the night carry the weight of our confessions. The cool wind whispered through the trees, brushing against our faces as if the world itself was giving us space to heal. And as I finally stepped back inside with her hand still in mine, I realized something crucial. Love isn't about never hurting or never fearing. It's about showing up, again and again, even when you're scared that the other might walk away. Marielle had smiled at someone else that night, but it hadn't been because she wanted to replace me. It had been a moment of fear, a fragile attempt to survive when our communication had broken down. And now, finally, after months of quiet distance, we were both willing to face the truth, to face each other. We weren't perfect. We probably never would be. But for the first time in weeks, I felt seen again. I felt wanted. And for now, that was enough to keep walking through the door of love together.